Welcome back to the deep dive. So, today we're tackling a really big one, Lions Clubs International. I mean, just looking at the materials, their own new member guide, the scale is just wow.
It really is something else, isn't it? The sheer global footprint.
Over 1.4 million members. 48,000 clubs in what, 200 countries?
Yeah, 200 countries and geographic areas. It's massive. And it makes you wonder, how does something that big actually function day to day, you know?
Exactly. So that's kind of our mission for this deep dive, right? To sort of peel back the layers on how this huge service machine operates using their own guide.
Right. And maybe the best place to start is with, well, their core identity. Their motto is super simple. We serve.
Simple, clear, all about action. And their vision to be the global leader in community and humanitarian service. That fits.
It does. But here's where it gets interesting, linguistically anyway. That modern motto, we serve, it kind of contrasts with their official slogan.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's much longer, right? Liberty, intelligence, our nation's safety. It's very historical.
Yeah, it is. It totally reflects that 1917 founding era. Promoting good government, citizenship, that was big then.
Yeah.
But the name Lions, that was chosen separately. On a secret ballot, actually.
Oh, really? Not related to the slogan, then?
Nope. They picked lions because the animal stood for things like strength, courage, fidelity, vital action, qualities they wanted to embody.
Okay, so you've got the motto, the slogan, and the name all kind of layering together to define who they are.
Exactly. Three distinct pieces forming the identity.
Strength, courage, fidelity. Let's dig into those principles a bit more, because the official purposes in the guide, they go way beyond just, doing projects.
They really do. It's not just about service. It's about fostering international understanding, promoting good government and citizenship, taking an active interest in the whole community's civic, cultural, social, moral welfare. It's quite holistic.
Building a better society, kind of from the ground up.
That seems to be the idea, yeah.
And a really key part of that, especially for a global group, is how they handle discussions. They want open discussion.
Right? A forum for all matters of public interest. But, and this is crucial,
The big caveat. Partisan politics and sectarian religion shall not be debated by club members.
that firewall, as you called it, is absolutely essential. Imagine trying to operate in 200 different political climates if you didn't have that rule.
It would be impossible. You'd fracture instantly.
Right. It lets them stay focused on the actual humanitarian work, hunger, vision, things everyone can agree on needing action for.
That focus on impartiality seems baked into their code of ethics, too. There was one line that really jumped out at me.
Which one?
The bit about resolving doubt. If you're unsure about the ethics of something you're doing towards others, you have to resolve that doubt against myself.
That's a high bar. It really is. It forces you to prioritize the group's integrity or the common good over your own sort of personal angle or convenience. Requires real self-scrutiny.
Yeah, it's pretty profound. And it even shapes how they view friendship within the club.
Us-
The code says true friendship is an end, not a means. Demands nothing except service in the spirit it's given. It sort of preempts any idea that you join just to network for business or personal gain.
Right. It frames membership around shared values and service, not transactions, a kind of selfless fellowship.
Okay, so this ethical foundation is clearly deep-rooted. To really get how they operate, we need to look at their history, those key moments. It all started in Chicago, 1917, with Melvin Jones.
That's the guy. Melvin Jones. He led a business group, the Chicago Business Circle, and his big idea was pushing them beyond just looking out for their own businesses.
He wanted them to use their skills for the community.
Exactly. Apply that ambition and know-how to selfless service. That shift in thinking is what led to the Association of Lions Clubs being founded right there in Chicago.
And they went international really fast.
Oh, incredibly fast. Just 3 years later, 1920, a club starts up in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Boom. They're the International Association of Lions Clubs. Shows the ambition was global from almost day one.
But the thing most people probably associate them with, sight. That came a few years later, right? 1925.
Yes, 1925. The pivotal moment. Helen Keller addressed their international convention in Cedar Point, Ohio.
And she didn't just suggest it, she challenged them.
She did, famously challenged them to become Knights of the Blind in the crusade against darkness, and they accepted. That mandate shaped their service identity for the next century, really. Led to huge initiatives like Sight First.
Wow. And their influence wasn't just in service projects. They were involved with the UN very early on.
Surprisingly early, yeah. 1945, they were one of the first NGOs invited to help draft the UN Charter. It shows that they were seen as a serious global player, even back then.
And another big shift much later was admitting women.
Huge milestone. 1987, they became the first major service club organization to admit women. That fundamentally changed their membership and, brought them into the modern era.
Okay, so we have this massive ethical, historical organization. How does it actually work? The structure, from the local club right up to the top.
Well, it's very structured. They run on a fiscal year, July 1st to June 30th. At the local club level, you have your standard officers elected each year, president, secretary, treasurer, the usual.
But there's a specific team focused on driving results.
Yes, the Global Action Team, or GATE. This is key for pushing growth and impact at the club level.
And who's on that gate?
It's 4 specific roles. The club president, naturally, then the service chairperson, the membership chairperson, and the vice president, who specifically acts as the leadership chairperson.
Ah, okay. So it deliberately combines leadership, service delivery, and membership growth into one team. Very strategic.
Exactly. It forces them to think about the pipeline, not just doing service, but who's going to lead next, and how do we get the people we need. It's about sustainability.
Smart. Now, something else crucial in the guide was the money side, specifically how they separate funds. 2 budgets.
Absolutely critical. This is vital for transparency and trust.
Yeah.
You have the administrative budget. That's funded mostly by member dues, covers the club's running costs, newsletters, maybe some training materials, that sort of thing.
Okay, internal stuff.
Right. Then, completely separate, is the activities budget. This holds all the money raised from the public. Fundraising dinners, community events, whatever.
And that money.
That money can only be used for community or public needs, period. It cannot be touched for administrative costs.
So if someone donates $1, they know that dollar goes to service, not to running the club itself. That's huge for public trust.
It's fundamental. It
No.
guarantees donor intent is respected.
Okay, so the local club operates like that. How does it connect upwards? Through districts.
Exactly. Clubs are grouped into districts. You need, I think, at least 35 clubs and 1,250 members to form one. Each district elects a district governor for a 1-year term.
And the governor is the bridge.
The bridge
Yeah.
connects the clubs to the wider international structure, keeps information flowing both ways.
And the very top, International HQ, is in Illinois.
Oak Brook, Illinois, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the global headquarters. The main governing body is the International Board of Directors, 34 members. They set the overall policy, supported by staff who operate in 13 official languages.
13 languages. Wow. Okay, let's shift to the powerhouse behind the really big projects, LCIF.
Right. The Lions Club's International Foundation,
Run
established
that.
back in '68.
This is their charitable arm, yeah. The one that funds the massive global initiatives.
That's exactly it. LCIF is what lets local clubs participate in projects far bigger than they could manage alone, pooling resources globally. And the numbers are just staggering.
Over $1 billion in grants since 1968.
Over US $1 billion, yeah. Think about the impact.
Yeah.
You mentioned SITE earlier. LCIF funding has helped make possible something like 9.1 million cataract surgeries through programs like SITE First.
Almost 10 million people getting their sight back. Incredible.
And it's not just SITE. Public health, too. They've been involved in efforts that help vaccinate over 100 million kids against measles. That shows their scale as a global health partner.
So with that kind of impact, they've now focused their efforts on specific areas, the 5 global causes.
Correct. While clubs obviously still tackle local needs as they see them, the big push, the concentrated international effort in LCIF funding, now centers on 5 key areas:
Which are?
diabetes, vision, hunger, environment, and childhood cancer. These are the big 5 where they're trying to make the most significant global impact.
And they have a major fundraising campaign running for these causes right now.
Yes, Campaign 100. It launched in July 2018. It's a $300 million comprehensive fundraising effort specifically to boost their capacity to serve in those 5 areas.
So really fueling the engine for the future.
Exactly, powering the next wave of service.
And speaking of the future, they seem very focused on bringing in new people, making it accessible. The guide mentions specific programs for recruitment and keeping members engaged.
Definitely. They know they need that pipeline. And they recognize that, the traditional club model doesn't fit everyone anymore.
Like the family membership program.
Yeah. That offers special dues to make it easier for whole families to join and volunteer together. Makes service a shared activity.
And for younger people.
There's the student member program, discounted dues for students, whether they're in a campus club or a regular one. And they have a clear path for the youth members, the LEOs.
The Leo to Lion program.
Right. It gives former Leos benefits like lower dues and credit for their past service when they transition to being a Lion. Makes it smooth, keeps that energy in the organization.
They also offer different types of clubs, don't they? Not just the standard model.
Yes, recognizing diversity is key. You have
Yeah.
traditional clubs, sure, but also things like club branches, campus clubs, and interestingly, specialty clubs.
Specialty clubs, what defines those?
These are clubs formed around a specific shared interest. It could be one of the global causes, like a club entirely focused on environmental projects, or maybe childhood cancer support, or it could be based on a shared life experience or profession.
Huh. So you could join a club where literally everyone is passionate about the exact same specific issue rather than a general service club. That's quite appealing.
It allows for deeper focus and attracts people who might not join a more generalist club. And underpinning all this is leadership development.
Right, the Global Leadership Team, the GLT.
Yes, they provide a ton of training. Institutes for new leaders, advanced leaders, plus an online Lions Learning Center. They invest heavily in training because good leadership keeps the whole thing running effectively.
So pulling it all together, if you're thinking about joining, you're stepping into a really structured global network with a strong ethical core. You give your time, attend meetings, do the service work.
And in return,
You get access to leadership development, you become part of this huge global community, and you contribute, even in a small way, to some really significant humanitarian efforts.
it's that reciprocal idea again. Service, structure, and impact.
Okay, let's wrap up with that final thought. You raise the power of the individual member. How does my vote in my local club actually influence this giant international body?
It boils down to the International Convention. That's where the big decisions happen, where international officers are elected. Each club that's in good standing gets to send delegates.
And the voting power.
It's based on club size.
Yeah.
Every club gets at least one vote.
Huh?
Then you get an extra vote for every 25 members, or a major fraction of that. So bigger clubs have more votes, naturally.
So even though the international board sets policy day to day,
Ultimately, the direction of the entire organization, the leadership, the major policies, is decided by the votes of those delegates from the thousands of local clubs around the world. The power flows up from the membership.
so your local voice, combined with all the others, really does steer the ship. That's quite something for a potential new Lion to think about. Your local action connects directly to global governance.
A powerful structure, built from the ground up.
Indeed. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive into the Lions Club's International New Member Guide. Fascinating stuff.
Always interesting to see how these large organizations work. Pleasure talking through it.